So here I am in my first video blog, and today I think I'm going to address the signing of Darrelle Revis by the New York Jets and the fact that the Patriots declined to pick up his option and failed to match the Jets' offer. A lot of people around the Boston area are really up in arms about this, and they don't agree with the decision, and everybody is second guessing Bill Belichick, and basically nobody likes it. But me, I see that Darrelle Revis, he's clearly one of, if not the best corner in the league. And of course, it's going to be a huge loss, not having him on the team this season. But me, I see exactly where Bill Belichick was coming from. And in a lot of ways, I do agree with the decision. And the reasons why I do agree with the decision in a lot of ways is because, first of all, you got to think Darrelle Revis is going to be 30 this season. And any skill position player in the NFL, once they reach the age of 30 and they get beyond the age of 30, it's typically when you see a decline. And typically, well, and that is the reason why the Patriots rarely, if ever, give big money, long-term contracts to skill position players over the age of 30, because they don't think it's worth it to pay a player that's declining in skills that kind of money over the long term. And clearly, that's worked out for them. If you look at the Patriots' run over the last 15 years, it's incredible. Not only is it incredible, it's unprecedented. 15 years the Patriots have been in contention. They've won the AFC East every year but 1 year, and the 1 year they didn't win it was the year that Tom Brady was out with a knee injury. So this is incredible, their run. Granted, they didn't win a Super Bowl for 10 years, but nevertheless, their run of excellence, just being at the top of the division, being in the Super Bowl picture every year is just amazing. No other team has done that in NFL history, and the reason why they've been in that position is because of their frugality when it comes to the salary cap and giving out huge player contracts. You're not going to give it to anybody over the age of 30 whose name isn't Tom Brady, and it's understandable giving it to Tom Brady because he's a quarterback. The quarterback position doesn't really require a lot of athleticism, and guys 37 and he's still playing at an elite level, so obviously that's true. So, and another reason I tend to agree with the decision not to re-sign Revis was because having all that money tied up in him would prevent you from re-signing the younger Patriots players whose contracts are coming up, like Rob Gronkowski, Chandler Jones. You probably wouldn't have been able to re-sign Devin McCourty this year. You probably wouldn't have been able to franchise tag Steven Gostkowski. And all these players, besides Gostkowski, I believe, they're all, and it doesn't matter because he's a kicker anyways. So it's basically like the position of quarterback. You can, go well beyond the age of 30 and still play at a high elite level. But in terms of, but with all those other players like Chandler Jones and Devin McCourty and Rob Gronkowski, they're all, well below the age of 30. So, they're still in their primes, and they got their contracts are coming up, and you need to re-sign those players, and you wouldn't have been able to do that with all that money tied up with Darrelle Revis. So that's why that, despite the fact that in a lot of ways I would have liked to have kept him, um, and despite the fact that you know we're definitely going to be worse off this year without him. That's a fact. But despite those facts, I agree with the decision, and I'm going to go with the in Bill we trust. I'm going to go with that because at the end of the day, like I said, this run at the top is just unprecedented. It's amazing, and it's look at every other team in the NFL. Look at every other team in the AFC East. They're on their like fourth, fifth rebuild since we've been on this 15-year run, and none of them have even come close to us. And what separates us from them is fiscal restraint, salary cap responsibility. That's what separates us from them. So at the end of the day, it was a big loss. We will not be as good next year, but I think in the long term, it was the right decision. All right. Peace.